Swati Chaturvedi, you've put out some very specific details about Prashant Kishore's plan. Tell us what you know. Tell us why you think that this is not a khayali pulao, this is a solid political pulao cooking at this time, and that Prashant Kishore could potentially even join the Congress. Swati.
Thanks, Rahul. Now, let me start with a couple of points. First of all, I have reported that the Gandhis have made him an offer. The Congress party wants him on board. That is something which is absolutely confirmed. Now, what is not confirmed, which we cannot confirm, is whether Mr. Kishore is going to get on board or not. Mr. Kishore has come up with his own plan for the Congress party, which involves setting up a 9-member committee to advise the Congress president, where he wants people like Raghuram Rajan, Rajiv Bajaj, people who have stellar reputations, who are big brands, bold-faced names. And he also wants to do elections in the Congress from the block level onwards. Now, these are all very sane ideas. And from what I've been told by my sources, are that the Gandhis have actually agreed to all of this and desperately do want him on board. Now, I was hearing Rajdeep earlier. Now, all the things that he said about the Congress, clearly, if we know it, if we keep saying it again and again, the Congress is in crisis, the Congress is in ICU. Clearly, the party also is quite aware of this. It's pointless to keep repeating that. We're looking at Prashant Kishore. I think they're looking at the future of how to basically re-energize this party, which has since 2014 found itself without any moorings. Now, Prashant Kishore also has a very successful track record, but do remember that he's been in politics before. He was a Janata Dal United vice president. He fell out with Nitish Kumar, but his inclination to be in politics is very clear. In fact, now he says he's given up this space, which is advocacy, and is very, very clear that he wants a political role. Now, there is a bit of a fit here. And that is all I've reported. What I've reported is the offer. What Prashant Kishore does with the offer, what his bigger plans are, which they've actually said yes to, is, something that we'll see what happens.
But it's not quite as simple as that, Rashid Kidwai, because I know on good authority that Prashant Kishore doesn't have the highest opinion of Rahul Gandhi, that in 2017, when Prashant Kishore was advising the Congress campaign in that joint fight with the Samajwadi Party, he felt that Rahul Gandhi would agree on something a particular day, next morning somebody else would come and tell him something, he'd change his mind, and he found that very frustrating to work with, because he's used to working with leaders like Narendra Modi, leaders like Mamata Banerjee or Nitish Kumar, who are a one-point shop. You go to them, you have a conversation, you thrash out a strategy, and that's it. It's not as if the strategy can change based on who came and spoke to your principal last. Given the fact that he's only been a consultant, given also the fact that he says he doesn't want to do advocacy any longer, do you believe that space is being created for Prashant Kishore to come on board and formally join the Congress, Rashid?
I think, Rahul, from Prashant Kishore's point of view, there are 2-3 objectives are there. One is to, make his, for instance, Punjab, Amrinder Singh, make him kind of politically relevant. And second part is, of course, the national elections, where he wants, half of half, in the sense that, the non-NDA, non-Congress parties would take care of half of 272 Lok Sabha seat margin, and the other half should be filled by the Congress party, where the Congress and BJP are in direct contest. He's quite sure of the first half, that non-NDA regional party is doing well, but he's not too sure about Congress. Reviving Congress sounds very good, but it's a very difficult job. It is something that Sonia has not been able to do. It's something Rahul has not been able to do. It is something Priyanka is struggling with. So to expect, and it will not bring any dividends. If Congress is revived, how will it help, as long as Congress is not winning 100+ Lok Sabha seats in 2024? So it's a mixed bag. From my understanding, the meetings that we are talking about, first of all, it was that Captain Amrinder Singh may not contest, the assembly elections, and this is pretty sensational. If he doesn't contest, is Congress in a position to, back Sidhu all the way? I mean, as a chief ministerial face or something like that. So this is something which is a difficult thing that needs to be, that perhaps has been discussed and sorted out. Second step is about, opposition unity. There is no disagreement. Third part, what you are talking about is about possibility of PK joining the Congress. He can be a very good general secretary in charge of elections, but as Rajdeep had highlighted, see, in Congress, there are just too many wheels within wheels. It's very easy for Mr. Prashant Kishore to come in. It will be very difficult to function, or for that matter, to get out. In 2016, we have seen in UP, same thing had happened. So I think if he's thinking about it, I mean, he's a wise man to do so.